Welcome back to another episode of Toxiris Rates, to episode 11. Today we got Friday, June 11th. Fitting, we got the 11th episode on the 11th. We got a lot of releases, a lot of good releases, so let's get into it. Alright, so as always, we are starting off with something underrated. We're starting off with DC the Don, Ghost Rider. And yet again, this man is bringing a good song to the table. It's a kind of a rock vibe song again. I feel like that's what he likes to go for the most in the past couple months. Just from the singles I've heard. I haven't heard his album yet, Come As You Are. But overall, it's a pretty good song if you like that style. Overall, if you don't like it, it's nothing too crazy that you might get into the style through this. But if you like that style overall, check it out. Definitely, it's a good song. Then we got one of the most random collabs I've seen today, but also one of the collabs I wanted the most, kind of. There's a Bizzy Banks featuring PNB Rock, Adore You. And this is random because Bizzy Banks is a drill rapper, New York drill rapper, my favorite New York drill rapper. And I would argue even the best, New York drill rapper. And PNB Rock is my favorite rapper overall, so I really was looking forward to this collab. But once a subscriber told me about it, I was like, you gotta be trolling. Like, what is Bizzy Banks doing with PNB Rock? And then I saw the snippet on IG, and everything made sense. Because Bizzy Banks has, in the past, made a couple singing songs. They were not too good. I prefer his drill catalog way more. On his Get Money Take Over album, he had 2 singing songs. And those were probably the worst tracks on the album. But this one is actually pretty good. It would be pretty boring without the PNB Rock appearance. But PNB Rock has the hook, and that hook is great for what it is. Obviously nothing too crazy. But overall it's a good love type, chill. Okay, love. More, I would say, horny type vibe. Yeah, it's a good song overall. I can only recommend it. Then we got Dappy featuring Abra, Cadabra-Bolo. This is some UK shit, and I actually only saw this because it was in my release radar for Spotify, because I listened to a lot of Abra Cadabra. And I didn't know Dappy before. I think it was featured on Abra Cadabra's album, but I didn't know none of his like solo catalog before. And this song is very good, and actually not because Abra carried him or anything. No, Dappy delivers a very good hook and a very good verse, and it's overall it's hype. It's I don't know if you can say drill, but it's definitely some energetic type shit, and you could turn up to it. It's fire. It's one of my favorite single releases of the day, definitely. Then we got 6ixBuzz, Canada's Most Wanted. Well, I'm not gonna talk about the whole album because I didn't listen to the whole album. I'm sorry. 25 songs with a lot of artists. I don't know, it's just too much for me personally. I only listen to the Northside Benji songs because I've been waiting for new Northside Benji releases for a pretty long time now, and there are 2 solo Northside Benji songs on this album. The first one, I can't recall the names right now. The first one is pretty good. They're both pretty short and pretty standard Northside Benji shit, but the first one is pretty okay. I'd give it maybe a 6 out of 10 overall. I don't know why I'm giving it a rating, but it was a pretty good song overall. And the second one was definitely better. That's like probably one of my favorite also songs, just if you look at the songs from this day. Then we got Young Bleu-Baddest featuring Chris Brown and 2 Chainz. I can't say much about this track. It's a typical vibey love type of song with Chris Brown on it. Nothing too crazy, but I really like the 2 Chainz appearance on here, which is weird because I don't hate 2 Chainz, not at all. But usually when 2 Chainz comes in, it's just he does his verse and leaves, and it's like, yeah, okay, he had a verse, but he didn't really like up the quality of the song. He mostly doesn't like make the song worse, but he doesn't make it better either most of the time. But yeah, that was a very good appearance, and overall pretty okay song. Nothing for my playlist, but pretty good. Could be worse, definitely. Then we got Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty, like 34 and 8. That is actually, I don't know. Gucci Mane was not good, but that could just be my opinion because overall I don't like Gucci Mane. I don't know. Many people praise him for being a trap legend. Maybe his old projects are good, but everything I heard from Gucci Mane has been painfully mediocre, painfully mid. So this is just, his appearance is pretty trash. Pooh Shiesty does well, but can't really save the track in my opinion. So yeah, it's alright. It's nothing too crazy. Then we got Megan Thee Stallion-Thot shit. Nah, bro. I don't know. People may call me a Megan hater, but this is just... It's not boring. It's just... I can describe this song in one word, and that is dry. Because the beat has no life to it. Her voice has no life to it. The lyrics are, as always, well, yeah. And it's just overall trash song. It's probably the worst release of the day. And we got a Kodak EP coming later in this review. So yeah, I didn't like it at all. I don't know. It's maybe just because I don't like Megan overall, but I couldn't stand this track. Yeah. Then we got Fast Lane by Don Toliver, Lil Durk, and Latto, which is a single, another one for the upcoming Fast and Furious soundtrack. Again, it's a song. It's nothing too crazy. It has a catchy hook by Don Toliver. There's a couple good verses. It's nothing too crazy, but again, how it should be for a film like this. This thing goes probably hard as hell in the whip. I haven't heard it there yet, but I can imagine that. So yeah, also pretty good track. Let's get to the next one. Then we get to a more positive song review, which is IDK-Peleton. I don't know what that is. Maybe I should know it. Maybe it just doesn't come to my mind right now. That was a very good single, and actually very surprising, because recently, I don't know, I didn't really like recent IDK releases. I really liked his 2019 album, Is He Real? But overall, I'm just not the biggest fan of the recent IDK releases. Shoot My Shot was pretty good at first, but it got old pretty fast in my opinion. But yeah, this is a very good track, sung with a story about him and a girl. I liked it a lot, and it's actually into my playlist instantly. Good track. Yeah. So now we get into the projects. The projects are today a couple of projects dropped. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, we had the 6 Buzz, which I already mentioned, but I'm not gonna review that full album. I don't know if I'm even gonna listen to that full album. I'm pretty drained after all these new releases, but yeah. We got, first of all, we got JayDaYoungan-23 Is Back. It's the first time I've heard JayDaYoungan's solo album. I only heard his collab album with Young and Ace that dropped in 2019, and I really enjoyed that collab album. So since I saw that JayDaYoungan was dropping a solo album, I thought I might check it out. But this was pretty disappointing. It had 13 tracks. It was like 30 minutes long. Many tracks felt pretty rushed and unfinished in my opinion. I have like 2 or 3 tracks in my playlist, but those are also, they are good. They don't blow me away. Feel me? Overall, it's probably the worst project that I heard today, but it's still pretty good. Like if you like that melodic Florida type sound, go for it. Listen to it. You might like it. Then we got Kodak Black. Happy birthday, Kodak. And this was a surprise. We could call today's Friday the Friday of surprises, because I was surprised by a lot of people, but mainly Kodak Black, because it's a 4-track EP. It's nothing too long, but I actually quite enjoyed it. I added a track to my playlist. Y'all, if y'all know me, y'all know that I cannot stand this man's voice, and usually I cannot stand this man's music overall, usually. But here I have no track that I hate. I have 3 tracks that are pretty alright, but just not from my playlist, and 1 that is from my playlist. That's the first one. And yeah, I don't know, it's good. He should continue on that path. I mean, this is definitely an upgrade from Haitian boy Kodak, which he dropped a couple weeks ago, which was horrible. But yeah, this was pretty good actually, and I cannot complain about it. Good project. Yeah. Then we got Migos-Culture III. I actually ranked this album on my main channel. If you want to check that out, link should be in the description, or no, I'm throwing an info card in right now. So yeah, that album was a pretty, yeah, I don't know, it's not as good as Culture 1 in my opinion. I don't know if I ever heard Culture 2 the whole way through. It's 1 minute and 1 minute, 1 hour and 45 minutes. And if you know something about me, I hate long albums, and I hate overblown albums, and that's everything I heard this album is. So I don't know about that, but I heard the hits obviously. And this album has like a couple, I would say 50% of the tracks are very good, and are probably, I don't know if I have 50% in my playlist, but 50% are very listenable and are very good. But like, again, this album is just too long to me. It has 19 tracks, and usually that's not too long, because usually if the songs are like 3 minutes long or 2 minutes nowadays, then it's high. But with the Migos, because there are 3 rappers and usually every rapper has a verse, plus every time they have a verse, the hook comes in. Most of the tracks are 4 to 5 minutes long. So this album is 1 hour and 50 minutes long. And maybe it's just because a lot of shit dropped today, but that's just pretty hard to get through. So I enjoyed a couple tracks, but I felt like some tracks just didn't stand out enough. They weren't like straight up bad, but they just, like, with the production and the flows, they just blended in. That's what I feel like. Just nothing. They didn't stand out at all. But I gotta say, some of the features were very good. The Juice WRLD feature, the Pop Smoke feature, the Drake feature was alright. Even the Cardi B feature wasn't too bad. But yeah, overall, pretty good album. From what I've heard, a step up from Culture 2, but not as good as Culture 1 in my opinion. Then we got Pierre Bourne, The Life of Pierre 5 or T-Lob 5. I don't know why I'm just getting onto this, but this was probably my favorite album of the day. I'm not too sure on it because there is an album coming later that I really enjoyed too, but this might be my favorite album of the day. I added a couple tracks to my playlist, many, and this album was 1 hour long, 16 tracks. I was pretty surprised by how long these tracks were, considering in what kind of rap style Pierre Bourne delivers his raps. But overall, a very good project with obviously good production. Pierre Bourne, known as a producer, and a couple very catchy hooks and good flows on the project. I was very surprised. I don't know if I ever heard The Life of Pierre 4 the whole way through. I thought I did, but people say that's better than this album, and I like this one so much I can't recall liking that one so much, so I probably got to get back to that one. Overall, a good project. Check it out for sure. Then we get to the highlight of the day, which is Polo G Hall of Fame. And I don't know if for me it might be one highlight of the day. I really liked the Pierre album too, but this was very enjoyable and had a couple of very good tracks. He switched up the beats, but I gotta say he went from only using piano beats to mainly using guitar beats. I like the effort to switch it up, but I feel like he could have switched it up even more in case of not using guitar beats this much. They got kind of old too on the album, but overall it had a couple of very good tracks. It had very good features overall. Even G Herbo did his thing. I mean, his verse was probably the worst feature verse, but still had good flows and was not too bad for G Herbo feature. So definitely a good and surprisingly good album. I ranked that one on my main channel too, so you can check that out in the description, definitely, or in the info card right now. I liked it a lot. Yeah, it's a good project. It's a step up from The GOAT for me. It's not on the level of Die a Legend, but it's still a very good project. Can only recommend that one. Yeah. That being said, thank y'all for watching. This was Toxiris Rates, episode 11. Have a good one.
Remember back then, all them hoes ain't want me. Now I'm ballin', all them same hoes on me. Mama told me that this came with the money and the motherfucking fame. Even though I feel the same, I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now.